Hello and welcome back. My name is Tuxedo Ian. We're getting back into our playthrough of Book of Hours. This will be video number 52, and we just got an offer from Oriflammes on our next day. So let's get diving in and see what they're going to give us today. So we had a book, and we were definitely going to purchase it, so we've already assigned our gold spintria to it. Let's see, what else do we have going on? We have... Okay, yes, because we're going to be doing something with the... Okay, so we're reading that book there. We failed to read this one because we definitely didn't have enough edge, but we can work on that. We can start that up again. Alright, so we finished reading The Instruments of the Heart. Sister Isabel, the precentress of the Abbey Church of St. Brandon's, engages in dialogues with a heart-long of a kind called duendrazon that has taken partial possession of her body. The duendrazon, like all its kind, usually dwells in the mansis, but can enter the physical world by manifesting as music and take possession of a willing or semi-willing mortal who hears and loves that music, like Isabella. Isabella records her dreams of the High Mansis, where she is accorded the duendrazon status and titles. In return, the duendrazon enjoys what it calls caesura, a welcome oblivion. Our mostly blessing is that we may never cease, except in caesurae. There is something more that Isabella refers to as the caesura magna, but she laments that her duendrazon will not tell her exactly what that might be. So this has given us a way to get another way to get a cheerful ditty and 2 lessons on drums and dances. So we will mark that book with cheerful ditty, not old wound. There we go, cheerful ditty. And we can move this down here because this is another one of those rare books that has a lesson that is not easily learned. Okay, so Drums and Dances is at level 5. We would need 5 memories for it. We have a cheerful ditty. We have this gale, so we need 3 more memories. So let's see, we can do Satisfaction. We can do... Solace. And then we have the Earth sign, so that actually works. So that's our 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we need 1 more. No, we need 5. We have 5. Okay, so let's see what rooms we have here. We can do Winter 10. Oh, yep, that's definitely doable. So let's get Mr. Kill on the case. He's been a good workhorse for us lately, so we'll work on that again. The mysteries in this have defeated me for now. Can always try again later. Which, in fact, we will do. But first we need to make... Actually, we can just use this Invincible Audacity, and that will give us what we need. Was trying to do it without using that, but we can do it. Because that gives us exactly 14. I can master this mystery, and this will give us lessons on Meniscate Reflections. Oop, and our Arab has been Westengired. My Arab has been compromised by the green sickness, the wasteland terror, the boss haunt that Abbot Thomas named Westengire so long ago. A defeat when nectar is present makes Arab vulnerable to Westengire. Well, not exactly the greatest of outcomes, but it does give us another inexhaustible soul, and one that we can use with the Nana desk up there. As my spirits sink lower, a creaking fear passes softly into me, like something crawling through a window left carelessly open. Your Arab has a malady. Westengeir is what the early monks of St. Brandon's called it. That old green sickness, the raptness of desolation, the terror of the wastes, and it is upon me now. The wood, the wood, the wood! So we can cure this malady by using 5 forge. Easy enough to do, but we don't really need to... Having a maladied Arab is not going to be such a terrible thing, because it does give us another maladied soul that we can use up here at the desk Nana. Alright, there's Mr. Kill. So we can do... Wormwood Dream gets him to 8, and then just a Whist will get him to 10. We could even use the old... Well, we already used the Wormwood Dream, so we can't use the old wound. But we could use... Well, we will use the Whist to get him to 10. And then use Whist. We will watch for what lies ahead. So we'll open up this glaring room first, and then we'll go up the bell tower here. Okay, so there's 1 and 2 memories for us. And since we've finished with that, using that, we'll use the old wound to make ourselves another Wormwood Dream. And then we will take Drums and Dances, and we can actually use that Arab with this. At last, I'm something of an authority in this. So Drums and Dances is improving to level 6. And when this book finishes, we will use some more lessons. We will grab some more lessons to upgrade Drums and Dances to 7. So I think it's interesting if you look at these. So Foresight shows the beginning of a set of steps, and it's Forge and Lantern, where Hindsight shows the end of a set of steps with one of the railings broken, and it's Scale and Winter, because some things we can really only understand when they're gone. So you don't quite understand the climb until you actually completed it, whereas the Foresight is looking forward to the climb. My assistant and I will be prudent. So let's see. We have him here. We could give him a Solomon's Preparation and have him open up that area, or we could just go ahead and open up this room here. I think we'll go ahead and open up this room, this glaring room. This has long been a holy place, but now the sun in rags has withdrawn his peace from it, and the light here cannot be borne. In the day the sun's light dazzles. In the night the moon's light freezes. Only once a peace has been laid on the room will I be able to enter safely. So we'll get that started, and then we will use one of our whist here at the Sweet Bones with a 6-pence to get some rest and refreshment. It is winter, and the storms have tightened the seas. I am sitting before the fire in the Sweet Bones, with a beef and potato pasty in one hand and a hot ale posset in the other. Okay, so let's see. We're going to need 6 memories of heart or nectar. Well, we have a curious hunch, so that's 1. So we can do that one. Gets us solace. Gets us, that's 2 memories. We can do cheerful ditty. So that's 3. We can do satisfaction. That's 4. We can do Storm, that's 5. And we need one more. So Heart or Nectar, we can do Wrapped in the King to get 6. So that will be our 6 memories for that. We could also, actually, we'll go ahead and do an Ambrosial as well. So we can save the Curious Hunch for something else. So that gives us 6 memories. Alright. So let's see. We also have this Inks of Revelation, which is Lantern and Moth. That one will take a little bit of work. We do have these two, which both have lanterns, so that makes it a little bit faster. We can also come over to our telescope here. And craft some, again, Ascendant Harmony. So that will be another lantern memory. So that will be 3, so we just need 2 more. Actually, we have 4 states, so that's 3, 4. Just need 1 more, which we can easily get by examining one of these busts. So let's see. One of these that we haven't looked at yet. We'll look at... There's a Blake's. We're getting closer to being able to read this 16 Grail one. We probably are almost there, I think, if we use a Newman to help us. But we'll wait on that just a little bit, because we want to use up what we have before we start getting any more. There's a Blake, 7th Librarian. Mistress of woodlore, squanderer of fortunes, giver of no dams whatsoever. Quite a description. And we have finished reading our Edge book here. We have the Book of True Blood. Cassius the Thulman reveals the deeds of the unnumbered legion, the secret army that protected Rome against the Shadowless Empire. The Legion's legate answered directly to the hour called the Tribune of Scars, and was promised immortality if he died in battle. Well, the Tribune of Scars is what we also know to be the Colonel, one of the 2 Edge dyads who's opposed by the Lionsmith. In the final part, Cassius confesses to being a former legate. He recounts his terror of the Tribune, and divulges the secret lore of the Golden General, the champion of the Shadowless Empire, the enemy of the Tribune, and hope the Tribune will someday be undone. This has given us 2 Meniscate Reflections and a Memory Fear. So we will mark that with Memory Fear. And move it over to our red books shelf right up here. And we can go ahead and start getting this lesson on Meniscate Reflections. Meniscate Reflections, rather. And Mr. Kitwell has finished his work. And he has revealed for us... Ooh, let's see what we have here. We have the Solarium. This room was once for meditation of favored visionaries. Here White Matilda prophesied the victory of the Iron King in the Wars of the Roads, much as it would occur 300 years later. She got his name wrong, though. And we have a bust of Willem Harries. This bust is cast in highly polished bronze. Well, we know he must have been one of the Curia. And let's actually look and see, what actual spaces do we have left? We have the 6th Librarian, who brought a key long lost. And the 9th Librarian, who saw his fate and did not shirk it. So he's going to either be the 6th, or yes, he's either the 6th or the 9th. We'll have to investigate his bust to find out which one he definitely is. We also have a wealth of things in here. We have a restful seat, a dawn-colored seat for a solar congregation. We have a 9-wink clock, the most effective and irrefutable alarm clock ever to grace the house. Another one of these paradise palms. A potted pink orchard, a little smudge of dawn. A potted snake plant, a sturdy, sun-loving relic from a warmer place. Potted bamboo, water it and you can almost hear it growing. An awakened feather, alive to every draught and spark. So we have two, it is a remains with 2 sky and 1 scale. It's also a material. And in case we were wondering what a bisclavret's knot is, this is what it is. We've seen several crafting recipes that can make one. It's a mark with moth and 2 scale. The bisclavret is a half-human hill child of these parts, and this is its sign. We have another Sol Invictus symbol, the eternal symbol of the unconquered sun, all the way back to the Shadowless Empire, even through the wild heresies of the Intercalate. And we have no less than 6 books, plus 2 more candles, some tall candlesticks, and a contemplative seat. Perch here to meditate on the mysteries of dawn. So we have 2 dawn books and 4 solar books. So once our desks are empty, we can actually start cataloging those. Alright, so our whist is better now, in case we need it for something. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 memories to work with. So we can go ahead and start cataloging. So we can catalog our 2 Dawn books here. This book was written around the time of Hush House's Dawn period, sometime before the end of the first millennium, commonly reckoned. If I examine it, I can learn more about what it might contain. Books from this period are sometimes contaminated. And we can use the Dawn book there. And then this one is almost finished. Okay, so there's our 6 memories that we need for Drums and Dances next level. And then we can use our Arab here and catalog one of these solar books. And then let's see, where else do we have? We have this desk up here we can use to catalog a second solar book. From the 1000s to the 1500s, our books from this period are occasionally contaminated. We can use another FET over here to catalog a third. And we can use a health down here at good old Solomon's desk to catalog the 4th. So that will be all of our books cataloged. And yes, I know, I still have a batch down here that I have not cataloged, and there's a reason for that. It's because there are infinite books that you can get later in the game once you've exhausted every book from a certain time period, but only if you leave one of the books uncatalogued. Okay, so there's our Wormwood Dream. So 3 more seconds and we can start doing another Drums and Dances. Another leaf on the Tree of Wisdom. Meniscate Reflections. Without is purified, within is erased. Edge and Forge. Interesting combo. Okay, so we have Drums and Dances. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 memories for it. A lesson, and a soul fragment. When I thought I'd understood, I'd only begun. Improve this skill to level 7. Then once that's done, we can upgrade Meniscate Reflections to level 2 with this Memory Fear. There's our book from Oriflamme's, The Republic of Teeth, an eccentric political tract by Valentine de Wolf. 6 scale. Easily enough, we can do that. And our 2 Dawn books are finished cataloging. In Memory of Gods, the Barrow Child, a nameless Gaulish adept who joined an organization identified as the Ordo Limae, writes regretfully of the destruction of the gods who were stone, the hours who preceded humanity. So this was a 12 winter in Fusine, and it gives us the Ragged Crossroads knowledge. And then this one we have is the Ivory Book, a manual of the Ordo Limae, an order of quasi-immortals who maintained a secret enclave at the source of the river Limia in the Roman province of Hispania Galicia. This manual was compiled by one Kurenai, who claims to have fled the tyranny of the Chrysanthemum throne in order to cross the world and join the Ordo. So 8 winter, also written in Fusine, and it will teach us more about quenchings and quellings. Now, that sounds familiar. We had another book. We had an iron book at one point. Where did it go? Alright, so we've got all 3 copies of the 3 and the 3 now. So we have the 3 and the 3 Vatican manuscript. I think we have up here, yes, the 3 and the 3 Karashim manuscript. And then we have the St. Chiavi manuscript. So you can see they were from different time periods that were more heavily redacted. So the solar one is the oldest one. Then another solar book that was somewhat redacted, and then a Curia book that was even more redacted. And it goes from 18 to 14 down to 10 for the one that's been heavily censored. But I find that amusing that you can see just how over time the same book got censored over and over and over again. But like I said, I know somewhere we've seen something else that was similar to that. We had, I think, the Iron Book. There it is, the Iron Book. So yeah, so we have one manual of the Ordo Limae, and we'll put this, we can put this down here. So when we finish reading the Ivory Book, we can set the Iron Book next to it. Yeah, because you can tell those are thematically similar. They're both from the Dawn period. So this is a winter book, so we'll take it over to Solomon's desk and put it there for now. Oh, we actually will just... It's not quite done yet. So Solomon's desk is just almost finished. Let's see what we find here. We found the Ascendant. The edge-long Dardesh boasts of her victories over her brother enemy Tereg in the days of the Shadowless Empire. Oh, this is written in Hyksos, a language we do not yet know. So that one, unfortunately, we cannot read just yet. But it will teach us more about Edicts Martial, so we'll be able to get that up to probably level 9, because it's a level 10 book. Against Vitruvius, a 14th century treatise on esoteric mechanics and parahydraulics by Abbot Ranulph, best known now as a Mason architect. So this one gives us more lessons on lockworks and clockworks. So that's something we're definitely going to want to read, because it's only 6 sky. We can read that easy. We found Asite Supplications, prayers addressed to the Horned Axe by the Sisterhood of the Triple Knot, written in Greek, and it's scale mystery, and it teaches us more about stone stories. And last but not least, we have found the Red Book of Brittany, a volume of ink lore gifted to St. Brandon's by Brian of Brittany, who was made Earl of Cornwall after the Norman Conquest. So this completes our trio of the books of Brittany. So we will actually set these up here, because they are a trio. And we can set the Ivory Book and the Iron Book down here, because that's a duo. So we have the red, white, and black books, which mirror the 3 colors of the tree of the Watchman's tree: red, white, and black. So this one is 12 rows, and it will teach us more about inks of power. So that actually will be something handy. So I think we can read that one. So let's see, because we have a Thet we can use. We have Harlan Tide gets us to 9. We can use the globe to get us to 10. And do we have something that gives us rose to put into memory? We can get a rose memory. Yes, we will need intuition. So we will hold off on reading that for now and read up that book to give us some intuition. And we will be able to read the Red Book of Brittany. So these two, so we'll put that one on our shelf here because we don't have the language to read it. Republic of Teeth we'll set aside for now. There's our Ascendant Harmony. Okay, so 5 more seconds. So we need... So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there's 5 memories for Inks of Revelation. We have our 1 memory for Meniscate Reflections. Drums and Dances is now level 7. So 8 heart and 7 nectar. So that will make it easy to make Underskin's Peons from now on. So we need to do Meniscate Reflections, Lesson, and Fear. And we'll do a Metal. And get that up to level 2, and then we'll upgrade Inks of Revelation to level 6. I'm actually surprised we haven't found hardly any Maladied books other than that one that had 5th Eye Curse on it. That's unusual. But I'm not going to knock it. As for this one, so this is 18 rows. This one is going to be extremely difficult to read, so I think what we're going to do is wait for Numa to come around and read that one during Numa, because we do get the Noom Broom, which has 5 rows on it. Alright, so this is now level 2, so 3 Forge, 2 Edge. So we do Inks of Revelation, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 memories. And we can do Faust. I'm something of an authority in this. Improve his skill to level 6. Alright, so there's our intuition. So now we can come over here and read the Red Book of Brittany. We add the globe to get the last point. I can master this mystery. So Rose if is wandering if we don't have enough, and Journey's End if we can. Alright, so let's see. We have... So, Inks of Revelation is now level 6, 7 Lantern, and 6 Moth. So that'll make it a lot easier to make lantern crafts with it. In fact, let's see what we can do with that. So we can do that. And we'll just throw in some metal for now. And we have... this Ichor Vitreous. That gets us to 11. But we would need glass to make Ichor Vitreous. We need Xanthotic Essence to make Oozult. So that's not going to... So Lantern We know what the lantern skills for that one are. If we can add enough, if we could add enough nectar to it, we could make Ugol, and if we could add enough sky to it, we could make Stargol. And then this one must be for moth. So actually, let's come over to another area here, because we can do moth crafting over here. So add Inks of Revelation and a Tryst. We can make moth gold paint. And if I add liquid, I would brew a silvery moon ink. So paint itself is actually a liquid, if I remember correctly. So let me check these buckets of paint we have over here. Yes, it counts as a liquid. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a bucket of moth gold paint, and then we can use that to make some Asimel. We have some skin shuck mead over here in case we need some moth power. So let's see. Do we have enough soul fragments? We could get Inks of Revelation to level 7. We need 6 memories of lantern or moth. So let's see if we can get there. So we can do Revelation is 1. Impulse gives us 2. Lantern or moth? Lantern or moth? We can do Foresight. It gives us lantern. I think that's all the lantern memories we can make like that. But we also can craft some. So we can come... We need something that takes winter and knock, so that would be over here. Yep. So we can use the Memory of Hindsight. We can use a Shapt. And we can use... EX Liminal. No, that makes a name day riddle a preliminal meter. Yeah, so we need that. We need 2 more points of Shapt, so we can do another Shapt to make a Curious Hunch. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to... So that makes an Ascendant Harmony. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need 2 more memories. We can do this Newman. That gets us to 6. And then we can consider... We can look at something to get another... Well, we need to look at this bust we found up here and figure out where it goes. So we can do that. Investigate the object. You won't use it up. And then we're going to need also to refresh our tryst. So we have a threepence we can use. We're going to be pushing it close on whether those will finish before day finishes. Alright. Bust is cast in highly polished bronze. William Harry's 6th librarian, priest, and nyctodromist, whose end has always remained obscure. Alright, so we know he goes into the 6th librarian slot, right before Thurza. That's given us a memory of sight. Book reading proceeds apace. Moth gold, neither bright nor dark. Moths are seldom this color. And yes, that does give us 2 moths, so we'll be able to use that to make a level 10 on the next day. I think that's the only time I've ever actually crafted the moth gold paint, because there's usually not a reason to use it, but we can do that. So there's 3 memories for us. So we have 4 of the 6 we need. Do we have 30 seconds? No, we do not. So we're going to have to do that again tomorrow. But we do have our Newman here. So that at least will stay with us. Yeah, it's going to be more than 20 seconds to finish that, so yeah, we don't have enough time to finish that book before day breaks. So we will carry one of those memories over to tomorrow so that we do not lose it. And we have to reread it again, so we'll carry the foresight over. And we will consider... Let's look at something we haven't looked at before just to see what we can find. Now let's consider this hurricane lamp and see what it tells us. Okay, so with that we need to reread a couple books. So we need to reread Ambrosial. And Sunrise Awakenings. We have the Foresight coming, and we'll need to get another vision, another sight, which we're doing right here by hopefully investigating this. A gale, so we can make some more sky music. So there's our Ascendant Harmony, so we can use the gale and the 2 fifes and strings and songs to make a Wind in Waiting. We finished reading The Red Book of Brittany, a volume of inklore gifted to St. Brandon's by Brian of Brittany, who was made Earl of Cornwall after the Norman conquest. The red flower lies heavy, but the roots of the watchman's tree are consistent. The red flower is described as the temptation of suffering, but its suffering can apparently be allayed when the copper fruit is enspelled with nectar aspect alongside herbs and infusions techniques. A variant of that same approach with the inks of power techniques outlined here can gentle lethe into a great ink. So lethe with nectar makes a great ink. And the copper fruit with nectar aspect and herbs and infusions gives us something. So the copper fruit we know is the Pyrrhus orichalcanus that we can get in Numa. So this gives us memory satisfaction and 2 lessons on inks of power. So we'll mark that with memory satisfaction. Alright. Unimpeachably sturdy. Yep, and memory sight. So we'll mark the red book with satisfaction. So now we have the red, the black, and the white. And we have our memory foresight and our curious hunch. So that should give us what we need for Inks of Revelation. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. We have one more memory cooking we need for that. So we need moth or lantern. Yep, and we have that cooking here. Oh, and we were going to use that. So now we can come back over here. And actually, we need to upgrade Inks of Revelation first, so that will make us even easier to do the next craft we were planning on. But we can also look at transformations. So let's see what transformations and liberations can make with Moth. So we need to do Trist. So it can't do anything with five Moth or 10 Moth. We need a special. We'll need an ingredient. So apparently not a liquid. Let me actually check my notes here and see what transformations and liberations can make. Okay, so with Moth we would need an egg and 10 Moth. So that's actually doable. So we can do that at the cage here, I believe. Yes, this takes Moth. So we can do that. We can do a Tryst. That gets us to 10, and then we need an egg. So we have a gull's egg laying around here somewhere, yes. So that makes us a chimeric larva. Hatch an eyeless larva, pulsing with moth potential. So a gull really doesn't get us anything I think we'll need, and we can always get more gull eggs, so we will use this to make a chimeric larva. So we know Lethe needs nectar, and so it comes with 2 nectar on its own. So we would need to find 13 more nectar to go with that. Well, we have the knife, which gives us another 2, so that brings it to 4. So we'd only need to find 11 nectar. Okay, so there's our memory revelation. And a memory impulse. So we will grab Inks of Containment, Lesson, Sight, Impulse, Revelation, Foresight, Newman, and Ascendant Harmony. We'll keep the Curious Hunch for later because it's more powerful. And then we'll do a Fet. When I thought I'd understood, I'd only begun. Level 7. So let's see. We're actually going to need something with moth, a moth liquid. Do we have any such thing? Nope, we'll have to make some more moth gold paint. Or we have the moth gold paint up here still. So we'll come over here. So we can do Inks of Revelation and the moth gold paint. And we can use a single fet. And that makes Asimel. Brew a silvery moon ink. Turning paint into ink. Gotta love it. Alright, so then we have 2 lessons on Inks of Power. So that is at level 3. So we need 3 lessons of Rose or Scale. So we can do... That gives us... Intuition gives us Rose, so that's 1. We can do... Almanac of Entrances gives us Rose. That's 2. We can investigate this newspaper. That will give us 3. So that will be all we need for the next level of it. Have health that we can use, so we need 2 more. So we'll need 4 more lessons for the next level of it. So let's go ahead and get those cooking if we can. It needs Scale or Rose. So Scale we can get from Fear. That's 1. Can also get Scale from Hindsight. So that's 2. Then we need 2 more Scale or Rose. We can do a 7th Voice, gives us Rose. Oh, come here. So we need 1 more Rose, or as we can do single put songs. That gives us another Scale. And that's our 4 memories for the next level of it. We forgot this one is written in Arabican. Elegant symbols, sometimes teasingly like Greek letters. Sometimes when I trace them with my fingers, I think I hear distant silvery bells, but I can't read it. So instead of that, we'll read Hissing Key, because that gives us the same memory. With Keeper level Moth, perhaps I could coax this to develop further, as long as it's well fed. Chimeric Larva, approaching the Chrysalis crossroads. 2 Knock, 2 Moon, and 4 Moth. So let's see, where can we put... We can put it right here for now. And that's a kind of a cute little sound it makes. So let's see. If we can get to 15 Moth. So let's see... So that gets us to 14. We just need a memory or something with food or another. So let's find something mothy. Ooh, that's right. Honey has moth. Or we have this. Can we use this mark? Nope, we need a cooperative, a sustenance, or a beverage, or a memory. So we can definitely use this honey, and we can turn this curious imago, we can turn this chimeric larva into a perilous imago. Coax the larva to develop into a greater moth beast. Transformations and liberations with keeper level moth plus chimeric larva creates a perilous imago. So we'll go ahead and make that. And if remember, this is what we were. This was hinted at in the book that we got that was talking about Collar's experimentations with the various things. Nothing's history when it happens. So there's an occult scrap for us. So that's what that newspaper is. It's a repeatable source of occult scrap, so we don't have to wait for new people to come around and give us their address cards anymore to get occult scraps. Alright, so there's a wind in waiting for us. And while we're at it, we can go ahead and make another Ascendant Harmony. And then make another Didymos. Speed up time a little bit while we're waiting. So there's 1 and 2. So we have our 3, so we can do level 3 of that now. So Inks of Power with Occult Scrap. Those 2. And a Health, because Health has scale on it. Gets that to level 4. So there's 1, 2, and 3 more. And we're just waiting on that last one on our hindsight. There it is. So that will get it to level 5. Let's see then. Now we can put these flowers down here in the alchemist lab for now. And do we have room in our... I've been carrying around this beef for a while. Do we have room? We do. So we can put some of this away in our pantry here. Just some great old sides of beef. This can go up here. Well, we're out of table space. We can put it on the table up here. Then put our last raw slab of beef down here. With Keeper level Moon, not Moth, Asimel can deepen to Black Sapphire. Okay, so that Black Sapphire wash that we found earlier that has 6 Moon on it, we can turn Asimel into that. But we would be giving up 3 knock and 5 Moon in the process. Oh, it also has Rose and Moth. It's a little bit helpful there. See, we also have Westcott's Compounds and Thurza's Cordials. I don't know if we can do anything, upgrade those to anything, but we have them. So let's see. Since that's going to use up our last lesson that we have, we can start reading something new. So first off, let's try and read this Dream Conspiracy of the Lower Skies. So that will give us Great Signs and Great Scars lessons. So we will need to read our... because we'll definitely need the 5 Grail that this Newman will give us. So we need Crack Track and a Core. Alright, Inks of Power is now level 4. And we can do that. And 1, 2, 3, 4 memories and a health. And upgrade it to level 5. So this will give 6 rows and 5 scale. And once it's done, we'll test out what we can do with that. Alright, so there is our Ascendant Harmony. So we'll put the pipes back in. We'll put the Ascendant Harmony in. And then we need Sky. So I forget which ones make Didymos. That only gets us to 13. That's not enough. So we need... That one would only get us to 13. Still not enough. Glass blowing and vessel crafting. What does it make? Does that make... Nope. That must do something else with Sky. That one needs glass to make a potent lantern liquid. Ornoscopy. Yeah, Ornoscopy makes a Didymos, and I think Sacrolime also makes a Didymos. Sacrosolus Invicti is not high enough, neither is Sky Stories, nor is Watchman's Paradox. So we'll make a Didymos with Sacrolime. Invoke a chilly sky influence. Alright, Exo Power is now level 5. 6 rows and 5 scale. So just so we can see what that does, we'll come up here to our Shrine of St. Genarius and check out what we can make with that. So Inks of Power. And we'll just throw in something random here. So with Scale Power we can make Perhibiate. With Rose we can make a Salt Sign. So let's go ahead and make a Salt Sign, because that does give us some extra Rose power, and it is a persistent, so it's a mark. We can hold it until we need it, and it'll give us 2 extra Rose power that we can use here at the shrine. Alright, so there is our Newman, the sun's weakness. And one wet wing, then the other, and then it shakes them dry, and from that point it will bear watching always. A perilous imago. It's come so far. Release it, and it could fly farther. 2 knock, 2 moon, and 6 moth, plus 2 scale. And it's a giant butterfly. Excuse me, yawn's coming on suddenly. Alright, so we were going to try and read this 16-point Dream the Conspiracy of the Lower Skies, so we can come up here to Nana's desk. So we add Arab, we add that, so that gets us 2. We'll add the Newman, that gets us to 7, so we need 9 more points of Grail. So our highest Grail skill is Resurgences and Emergences, which gets us 7. So we need 2 more points. We can add the Spice Scales, which give us 1. Or do any of our inks we have... Well, we could use... Nope, none of our inks have Grail on them. Must be one of the other 2 inks. So we can do that, and we'll definitely be able to add at least 1 more point through some means or other. Because we can definitely keep this memory satisfaction till the next day, at the very least. But it'll give us our options before that, before the next day ticks over. Alright, so we've crafted a salt sign. Elegant as an alchemical formula. Too bad it won't last. But then again, what does? So let's see. Inks of Power. So with the salt sign, we need to add light to wring a rosy essence from the air. So we need two more rose power from somewhere. Nope, you can't use that gemstone. So we'll come back to that tomorrow, but we can make, we can start a rose, we can get a 2 rose memory here and use that tomorrow. Okay, so it's giving us an opportunity for soul, the weather, or art. Okay. So we don't have a grail piece of soul, unfortunately. Or actually, yes, we do. We have the core. So we can use that, which gets us to 16 grail and finishes the book. And this will actually finish before the day is over now, so we'll get all those soul pieces back. The disgraced oracle Damon Asnaten sifts through the tall tales of Penelope of Gordion, the work of the court poet Cal, and the forbidden fragments of the work of the adept Aretes, identifying common themes. Damon insists that the hours, far more than mortals, are subject to their passions, to hatred, and even to love. The seasons of famine and plenty, the turn of the earth, the transformations of the furnace, all these are only the results of the enactments of the lesser passions of the hours. Damon suggests that the hours have constrained their rivalry to avoid a war within the House of the Sun. He identifies the fear of the crime of the sky as the reason that hours do not satisfy other passions. He speculates on the horrifying possibility of hours turned Alucite. What, then, would they devour? So it's given us a memory of gossip, frivolous but tasty. So that's a new memory for us. So that's one we have not had access to yet. And 3 lessons on the great signs and the great scars. So that's actually was very handy because now we have a book with a new memory for us that can give us Grail or Rose memories. So we actually have an ability now. We can go up to the Shrine of St. Genarius again. We can throw in this memory of gossip. We can throw in the salt sign. And that. And Inks of Power. And then we need light. Well, we can throw this lamp in. And that makes Ichor Auroral, which we've seen in the past. So we knew that recipe. So we would have to try something else to get it. We need to try and get that to 15 later. So we could make that. So instead of Inks of Power, let's try... What else do we have that's high in Rose? Pearl and Tide and Preliminal Meter. So if we do Pearl and Tide, that gets us an Enduring Reflection. If we do Preliminal Meter, that gets us... We could do Enduring Reflection or Curious Hunch, but we're not quite there on either one, so we'll use Pearl and Tide to make an Enduring Reflection. Refines memory to something of Rose. So there is our Didymos. No star is permitted upon Earth, but we may cozen them to dream of us, and the dream of a star may take a kind of form which we call Didymos. So let's see. For Great Signs and the Great Scars, we have... It is currently at level 6. Or no, level 4. So we would need 4 memories. But right now we're kind of running low on soul fragments, and our day is ticking over. So, at this point, we will go ahead and call it a day. We've done through 2 days. We've gotten some heavy books read. And we'll throw this onto our memory shelf here. We can move Malachite Supplications over here because we don't need it. We can put this on our shelf up here. And we will go ahead and call it a day at this point. So thank you for joining me. Tomorrow we'll probably see if we can read at least one more, maybe 2 more of these books, or at least try and get Great Science and the Great Scars leveled up. So, and we'll let this is. So there's a memory of intuition. We might be able to use that. Alright, so with that, we will call it a day now. So thank you for joining me. If you've been enjoying what you've been watching, please leave a like or a comment down below. If you'd want to see this series out to its conclusion, please subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining me.